I've just read Metamorphosis, my very first anime manga, and boy oh boy was it quite the experience. I had a lot of mixed reactions while reading this, mostly horny and depressed. But overall, it was a very good read, would totally recommend it, especially to children. And yes, you might be asking why I did it, I was horny, and why I'm talking about this to monetize my horniness. And also what I've learned from this. To be honest, I don't think I've learned anything from this. Maybe like don't do drugs and believe in yourself. Maybe? Anyways, I'm gonna be breaking this story down twice, and yes, you heard it. This is gonna be a double review, baby, cause you just hit the jack off. The first review would be based on how I felt before the nut, and the other will be after when the post-nut clarity kicks in. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, now on to part 2 of the review. So our story begins on the 8th of March in high school, and our main protagonist, Saki Yoshida, who has no friends, no life, no personality, and no social skills. But she wants to turn her life around using the power of makeup. Her new look puts a bright smile on her parents, especially her dad for some reason, I don't know why. And on the first day of high school, she becomes the talk of the school, the popular girl. And she starts to make some new friends, and please, for the love of God, don't go in there! So anyways, she goes in there and she gets hit on by this prick. And hey, she has never got any compliments from anyone in her life. And hey, she's dumb and naive. So obviously, she follows this stranger along. And surprise, surprise, he does a lot of terrible things to her, which I can't specify. And so yes, I felt sad and disgusted while reading this, even though I've seen things way worse, and believe me, I have. But the surprising thing is, this story did actually tug my heartstrings, because hey, I actually felt attached to this character just like everyone else does while reading a story. So yes, every time I see her getting used and abused, it hurts my feelings. And yes, it didn't hurt me as much as when I saw Ace getting his back blown in front of his brother, or when Jiraiya got nailed by 5 different dudes, or when Rengoku got fisted while his students just watched helplessly, or when Petra got smashed by the thickest titan. But with all that being said, it did actually hurt me. So anyway, she regains consciousness, and her boyfriend, what the actual fuck? Why? Why? This is just straight up Will Smith behavior. Anyway, she gets addicted to sex and drugs, and I don't know if you know this, but I hate this guy. I really do. So we're back in school, and surprise, surprise, her friends are just as dumb as she is. So the thing is, they ask her to go out on a sugar date on this freaking EDP445 website. And she does, cause she wants to buy accessories and jewelries to fit in with the other girls. Why not just do OnlyFans? Oh, okay. And she's 17, so... So she meets up with Big Chungus here, and guess what? She can't take a compliment, but she can be taken advantage of. Okay, so after that whole ordeal, her classmates find out for some reason. I'm pretty sure this was just a whole setup, and they start taking advantage of her as well. Like, goddamn, she can't take a break. I'm only on page 56 and she already turned into a complete whore. Her friends start to distance themselves away from her, like, what the fuck? Like, talk to her, help her. What kind of dog shit friends are this? Carcass, get a hold of yourself, this is just fiction, calm down. Okay, but I'm just sad. Anyways, moving forward, she gets home just to hear her dad getting fired, and holy moly. As soon as I saw this shit, I knew what was about to come given the nature of this medium, but I was still in complete shock and disgust when it happened. And honestly speaking, it was way worse than what I expected. For example, this was like me expecting to fail in my maths exam, but for some reason, I'm running away from a school shooter. The scene with her dad reminded me of the king from Berserk, who tried to do the same thing to his daughter but then got kicked in the face. But in this situation, she couldn't do anything about it. The damage has already been done, and it just keeps spiraling down. Her friends abandoned her, everyone with a PP has at least screwed her once, and she probably has a higher body count than me now, I think. And her mom beats her the fuck up and throws her out of the house? What? I didn't expect this. Like, what is this, a top 10 anime betrayal? Like, what the hell is wrong with these people? And it's not even her fault. Anyway, she becomes homeless, and so obviously she ends up living with this prick, which leads her into hanging out with drug dealers and criminals, and she thinks that it is so cool living like an adult. Anyways, this dumbass over here has some debt to pay, and so obviously his wonderful girlfriend offers to help. What the hell is with this Ymir-like behavior? And where the hell is she going to get that 8 million yen from? Oh, okay. Anyways, we now kind of have a time skip where she completely changes her appearance. She now has piercings, tattoos, she colored her hair blonde, and the most obvious one, she did a reverse Michael Jackson. And also, she's now a full-time prostitute and also a drug addict. Anyways, she finds out that she's pregnant and she decides to abort it even though she clearly doesn't want to. We cut to the next page and it turns out that she's still in love with this prick even though he's just using her like a pimp. Kind of reminds me of someone. Anyways, we have a reoccurring character who... Wow? I don't know if you're going to believe what you see here, I swear I didn't Photoshop this. But yeah, he's actually trying to help by saying that this isn't right. Like, oh my god, this is peak character development. He's like, I may be a disgusting sugar daddy, but I ain't no monster. Well, that's my expression of him at least. But she doesn't give a shit and they do it anyways, but she doesn't get paid as much as she thought she would. And to add insult to injury, she gets assaulted by Obata and his friends, and then later on she gets robbed. So she goes back to Obata again for help. What kind of dumb logic is that? So obviously, he drugs her and abuses her. Because everyone in this manga came out from the devil's asshole. And hey, since she has no money, her boyfriend bitch slaps her and kicks her the fuck out. So she ends up being homeless again, and what the hell is with that haircut? Anyway, she ends up drugging herself in a park and then gets assaulted again by 2 homeless men. And I'll be honest here, I'm now kind of desensitized seeing this happen again and again. There's nothing new and holy shit, they're actually being nice to her? Like good people? Well, they're not actually good people, but come on man. The bar for being a good person in this manga is pretty damn low. Anyway, she starts to vomit again all of a sudden and apparently she got pregnant again. Like wow! Who could have seen that coming? And apparently she decides to keep it because she thinks that it's the right thing to do and decides to hustle for the kid's future even while she's pregnant. Like, can't you find a different job? And also try to, you know, stop doing drugs? That can save you a lot of money. But lo and behold, she does actually save a lot of money. But out of nowhere, her classmates just instinct transmissions behind her. Like how the hell did they not make a sound? The hall is empty in one panel and the next everyone shows up. And what do? They almost beat her to death and steal all her money. This is just sad. And yeah, we're now kind of at the end of the story and I am so sad for her because I saw a glimmer of hope that she'd actually have a happy ending. But instead, we get to see the people who she tried so hard to get along with be the ones to end her. She sees herself on the broken mirror, kind of reflecting how broken her actual life is. Her life was kind of a complete mess, and even when she tried to turn things around, it just failed miserably. She couldn't even save her child. And so yeah, she ends up dying by overdosing on drugs. But before she dies, she dreams of living a happy and wholesome life with her daughter, which, not gonna lie, did make me believe that they actually both survived. But we cut to the last page which confirms that she actually did die. And if you can't believe me or can't just stop smoking that copium, here's what the author has to say.
Like, did you have everything planned out from the get-go, or did it kind of develop as
I didn't have everything planned out, but I think I said in the afterword that I had the ending out before I started. And
Right.
it's like, I was talking to my editors about it, and they asked, so how does it end? I'm like, well, I just want her to die at the end. And they're like, oh.
So yeah, this was a very sad and depressing story. I feel like she suffered just as much as Guts or Kuma, which says a lot. Her falling into this never-ending pit of misery and penises made me very sad. But yeah, this was a good read. By the way, if you want me to give you a review like this on any of the shows that you like, it doesn't have to be hentai. You can write them down in the comments below. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, that's it.